Hey everybody. So it seems like we've gotten a little break from the downward action for most of the market. Chainlink is up about 30% from the bottoms it put in a few days ago, and we have some interesting developments in the indications. So I'm going to be going over that. I'm also going to be looking at resistance levels that we got to look out for. So starting off, Chainlink did get a bounce off of this little rectangle of support that it had marked out, and we only just touched off the top of it, which I think is actually a good sign because we got a nice little double bottom with this summer bottom, and we held support on top of this range that we traded in late 2020. Plus, you can see on the daily time frame that we were forming bullish divergences as we were coming down to these levels. So overall, I think it's a great sign that we got a significant bounce off this level with some pretty positive indications. We also got a nice little trigger wave to this anchor wave here, and we had a little retracement, and we actually got a perfect bounce off the golden pocket for this retracement, so that's looking good as well. And we also finally have a daily money flow crossover for Chainlink. You can see right here the money flow crossed into the positive. Whoa, what just happened? The money flow crossed over into the positive on the 3rd of February, so 2 days ago. And now for the second time in the past week or so, Chainlink has been able to get above what I would call resistance number 1, which is just this very significant support and resistance line that we had fallen below, but right now we're sitting above it. So I'd say overall, pretty good signs here. And the money flow crossing from deep into the red to the positive, based on history, is a very positive sign for Chainlink. You can see the last money flow crossover that we had, we got about 150% pump. And before that, back in November of 2020, when we got a money flow crossover, we got about a 60% move up before we actually ended up coming back down to retest these levels. And you can see the money flow actually crossed back over into the negative slightly right here. But once it crossed back over into the positive here, Chainlink's price went up approximately 450%. So based on this, just because the money flow crossed over into the positive here, doesn't necessarily mean we are going to immediately pump up a crazy percentage. Maybe we end up coming up a little bit more and then come lower, causing the money flow to dip back into the red slightly. The money flow doesn't seem to stay in the red for Chainlink for too long, and once it crosses back over, it is usually a pretty good sign for the Chainlink price. So if we end up pumping straight away, great, but since we are in a downwards accumulation phase similar to what we were in over here when we got this money flow crossover, I think it is still possible that we may come lower, but either way, we should still have some upside in the short term at least, and we still have plenty of resistance levels to get above. The next resistance I'd say we have to look out for is probably right around $21. And if we can get above the $21 level, then the next major one's probably going to be at $24.30-ish. The great thing about Chainlink trading in this range for so long is we now have all of these significant levels marked out on the chart. And so, in theory, the longer that we stay in a range, the easier it should be to trade so long as the price is respecting these levels. And we do have plenty of instances where these levels were respected. And then if we manage to get above 24, the next major resistance, and probably the most significant, I'd say, is going to be actually an area of confluence, starting with the point of control of this entire range. And I also pulled some fib retracements, one from the all-time high and then one from this local high. And I noticed that we have a nice area of confluence right above this point of control between the golden pocket, the smaller fib, and the 0.382 of the fib from all-time highs. So I'd say this little box of resistance from about $29 to $27 is going to be the most significant resistance for us. So I think in the short term, Chainlink is looking pretty bullish. We did have a pretty significant bottom signal while we came down to this significant support. We have the daily money flow crossover. So I think, bare minimum, we should be able to come up and test some of these resistances. And then if we have to come lower after that, well, I'm sure some people would be happy for the chance to accumulate again. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate all of the support. It means a lot to me. And I will see you all on Tuesday for my next video. Peace out.